gang. I was just out here doing a couple of laps in the middle of this police station for some reason. Actually, the actual reason, I'll go ahead and I'll show you for... You all know what the actual reason is. It's because I'm trying to work on reducing some of these fellas' heart gauge, because... Goodness knows that I'm not necessarily, you know, super going to want to use a lot of these Pokemon. In fact, it is already feeling like I have a team full of guys that I like, right up until they start sending me different Pokemon that I just look at and go, oh, that's one I haven't used in a while that actually sounds like it might be interesting. You know, unlike Spinarak and Gulpin. Or, oh my god, it's my third fire type. Yeah, why would I take Numble or Camerupt for that matter? I mean, Camerupt is alright, but come on. Houndour is right here. Houndoom is actually one of my favorite Pokemon ever. Which is extremely, like, 12-year-old of me, I suppose. Oh, yeah, you like the literal devil dog. But you see, it's very funny you should say that, because actually I first saw it when I was, like, 9. So, the joke's on you. You're underselling how immature of a choice that is. Or something. That was actually a big part of why I was very glad to pick Silver version back in the day. But with all of that out of the way, I believe we now need to head off to... Oh, yes, we have to go out of town. Right. We do have the next location unlocked. Okay, I forgot. Until I suddenly remembered. Let's head on over to the Rock Poke spot here. Get a couple little bits of lag. Oh, this guy had a generic model in Coliseum. They've changed him. At least I believe he did. As we've got this guy out here. Yeah, of course the leader of Pyrite Town is, like, this swole, right? Too swole to control. By a wide margin. And then we look over at this kid who's got arms so thin that they look like they would shatter in a light breeze. I bet it is kind of hot out here, huh? Oh, wait, mate. He is a little bit Australian. Just briefly. Need some Poke Snacks, specifically the ones with branding on them. Just leave some Pokemon Chow here on the plate. Oh, I get it. Your hands are probably too large to handle a soldering iron. Unless you have a very large soldering iron. With a very large handle. Very large handy? Your spot miner is a dandy? What? That's a way of wording it. He sounds like a euphemistic. It sounds just sideways of something that the Brits will call you under certain circumstances. But let's not go there. Anyway. Well, I'm glad that... okay, saying glad is definitely the wrong word, but... you know, but I don't feel completely deranged or something? Anyway, so is there just a chunk sitting there? I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to look like. It just kind of looks like okay, now it's just clearly like a piece of cheese looking thing over on the map, which I think is funny, so... oh, there he is. Oh no, he's got like a bandana on the back of his hat or something. Or a little like scarf headband kind of thing. I thought he just had like a couple of purple highlights in his hair. And I was just gonna be like, that's quite a detail, because you would rarely see that, I guess. Just because of how the camera keeps positioning itself here. Yeah, sure, let's drop another cheese piece here for reasons. Okay, right, we'll get an alert of some kind when there's a wild Pokemon at one of those locations, huh? Oh, hey, look, it's these two goofballs here. We'll get Team Mirror B. Oh. Are we going to see the incredibly, ridiculously tall man himself? And his incredible Pokeball afro? Where is he? Oh my god, is he? Yes! He's walking backwards. This incredibly ridiculous man. There he is, the fan favorite from the original Coliseum, and he's back. Oh, what, is he trying to invite us to Team Rocket? It's just like Nugget Bridge again. This is the best character. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and he's got... I gotta shut up for this, actually. Absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10, no notes. I love Mirror B. What a ridiculous man. So, this guy, in order to clarify, he is one of the former Cypher bosses from Coliseum. And they brought him back because, obviously, like, look at him. In Coliseum, he also... So, we can see that he's opening up with 2 Lombre here. In Colo, he had a party of 4 Ludicolo and a Shadow Sudowoodo, which is just like an A-plus team. He had just incredible. God, I love Ludicolo so much. The entire line is just A-plus creatures. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, now we also get to deal with the fact that my team does not deal with water types at all. And probably deals with... Well, normally it would deal with grass types okay. Unfortunately, my main solution for that is all fire. Yeah, see, that's a big problem, is that since these things are water grass... Yeah, I'm feeling like Aurora Beam is going to be the better choice here. Probably. Yeah, and even with them only using a water move as strong as Water Gun, the rain does add a fair bit of pain here for us. Hey, paralysis, we'll take that. And yeah, I'm actually going to use some of my items during battle, a thing that I do not very often do and don't really like to do, really. So... you can tell we're in a position here. I think I said something yesterday about the fact that double battles tend to be much faster moving just in general. Just a much higher rate of attrition as a consequence of having so many Pokemon involved here. Oh, he's got it. He's got a Shadowmon, and it's a Voltorb. Now, Voltorb is hardly what I would call an incredible Pokemon, to be honest with you. I don't recall if electric types can be hit by Thunder Wave. Yeah, electric types can be hit by Thunder Wave. It's just that in future, starting in Gen 6, they cannot be paralyzed, period. And it has nothing to do otherwise with the source of it. Barring them having, like, Volt Absorb or something. In which case, well, yeah, obviously, that kind of changes things a little bit. Oh, fuck. And of course, it's the rogue crit that ruins my... Hey, we still got the paralysis off, though, so... You know what? I'm going to count that one as being nice. Meanwhile, Aurora Beam should still clean that thing up, and good. All right, so to be completely honest with you at this point, it doesn't matter who all we have on the field, so I'm putting Baltoy in because it's safer. Because we don't get experience for captures. But basically, since Baltoy can't be hit by any sort of electric moves, not that I think this thing is even able to do that right now, but just in case. We're gonna push this a little bit. I think this level of damage, like, Baltoy shouldn't be able to get a kill here. Then again, I just look over at its stats, and in general, I'm like, this thing is definitely a little different from what I remember. For example, the fact that it has a speed stat of really any number above 30 is kind of a shock. Again, I am so used to seeing that thing and having it be just slower than dirt. Not to be confused with that guy named Dirt that we saw earlier. Gertrude. You know, I think I said something like that before. Anyway, unfortunately, the man with his incredible hairdo has been defeated. And maybe we'll see him again later, though. Thank you for your service, Disco Stew. Ooh, I don't know. Whenever the boss appears, the mark appears on screen. So yeah, we'll be able to encounter him again in the future. And I believe the thing with him is that he has any of the shadow Pokemon that you missed out on earlier in the game. Which in our case, we got all of them so far, so no real worries there. At least not for the foreseeable future. Alright, now back to Pyrite Town. And go talk to the kids in the building. Start. Thank you, Duel Master Toro. It's a great joke to start the... Well... You know... Oh yeah, I do have water type. There's Spheal. But my brain just kind of went, oh, that's an ice type first, right? So... Yeah, some rough stuff is going on here. Cypher has taken over the building. Although I guess maybe it's not terribly surprising. They knew about the disc. Had to have, right? Oh, speaking of water types, this guy opening up with 2 of them. Which is great for at least one of our Pokemon. Well, okay, Barboach not so much, being a ground water type. Yes, this is my first time playing through Gale of Darkness. I just never got around to it. Yeah. I played Coliseum back when it came out, so... Oh, is this going to be on Switch 2 sometime soon? I admit I haven't been following super closely with that because I don't have a Switch 2 right now. Although I do know there's quite a lot of interesting stuff GameCube-wise that was making its way there in general. Well, yeah, I knew that. I mean... Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is in there too, which is pretty neat. So... Oh, so it's announced, or is it not yet and it's just speculation? You know, just out of curiosity, because... Again, I haven't heard anything about it, so... Yeah, I remember. Elevator. Oh yeah, up to the upper part. I was just like, oh, it's just speculation. Well, still, that would be pretty nice. I am still not completely sure, like, what all to expect in terms of any sort of upcoming releases or announcements. I'm kind of with people who are saying that there's a distinct possibility of a Gen 10 announcement sometime soon. I took Flareon, and that turned out to be, honestly, probably the worst choice I could have made. Flareon is already one of those Pokemon that tends to get the short end of the stick, like, constantly in the entire series, but I kind of admire it anyway. Oh, shit. Got Lightning Rod. Oh, dang it. Well, okay. Less bad than it could be. Lightning Rod doesn't absorb damage from Electric-type moves in this era. So, yeah, Flareon is always a Pokemon that just sort of seems like it has one of the roughest move pools out of the entire evolutions, and it's a little bit glass cannon oriented, but I've just always kind of liked it a little bit. Unfortunately, a bit of an issue with me having picked up Flareon as my evolution is that you get Houndour like really early on. And I said it earlier, probably before you came in, that I am a big fan of Houndoom. So, and just in general, I think that Houndoom is pretty good stats and a really good move pool. So it is kind of like, oh no, I picked the one that was going to just immediately get looked at and be like, hey, you've got the equivalent of that already. Because otherwise, I mean, if I'd picked Espeon, well, I would still have to raise its happiness first. But Espeon is usually a pretty good damage dealer. Umbreon is a fairly solid tank, although I do tend to prefer a far more aggressive playstyle than that. Jolteon would have probably been okay. I think Vaporeon might have actually been one of my best choices. Not that I think that my water options right now are bad, and by water options I mean Spheal. Because I don't think there's another water type at the moment. Just yet. But it's just because Vaporeon is very well-rounded, and like, okay, yes, it's another tank Pokemon, but I generally find that it's a lot more active than Umbreon is. Jolteon has generally been one of those Pokemon that's quite good as long as you don't need too many types of moves. Because it goes fast as hell, and it is usually capable of putting out some pretty good damage. I don't know if it's the best of the 5 that are available right now, but... And by right now, obviously, I mean in the... You know what I mean by right now. But I can say that it's got to be in, like, the upper half of the entire set. And by upper half, I think I mean like upper third, more like. Although, hang on, I gotta rub these two brain cells together and do some math here. Yeah, there's 8 evolutions available right now, so like, yeah, top 3 out of all of them by Gen 9 sounds about right. As it stands, though, I am not set up with the right party up front right now to really exploit Kecleon's ability, because, haha, my only ground type move right now is Mud Slap. Oh boy. I sure hope you get something to replace that at some point in the not too distant future, Baltoy. I'm actually... I don't know, I think Baltoy might actually be good. I usually tend to just look at Baltoy as being more of a defense-oriented Pokemon. And as I keep saying, I usually look over it and I'm like, that thing is incredibly slow, isn't it? But I did some research recently. Claydol has a base 70 move speed, which is not amazing, sure, but it's a lot faster than I thought. And it's got attacking stats that are... They will do just fine for an in-game playthrough. But yeah, the Pokemon we have available right now are kind of a mixed bag. And there's no small amount of that is probably on my choice to pick Flareon as my EV of choice, but it sounded like an idea at the time that would be acceptable. Or if not, at least funny. Okay, so I do worry about whether or not I would kill this thing now. Oh god, yeah, me too. I want to see this again. Especially just because I like the sort of like hyper limited set of things that you can use. I think that's a neat idea. Like, yeah, I've said before that a lot of the games where you have a dex of like 150 to 200, basically a lot of the games pre-Gen 6, your choices for Pokemon in-game could be kind of restricted. Kind of restrictive. But in my opinion, it wasn't by enough to make it a thing that was always like super interesting. It was just sort of enough to make you go, wow, there's really some stuff missing here. And then by Gen 6, you started having like a really big Pokedex, and there were just a great amount of options, and that's been the way it's been basically ever since. They may not all have been high viability, but you've been able to choose from quite a few things. Meanwhile, with this case, it's sort of like, I enjoy that this is even more restrictive than something like Diamond and Pearl. Because, you know, DP is kind of infamous for that, right? That you would only have like 1 or 2 options for certain types in that game. Okay, I guess the Pokemon's gone. I wasn't sure how to read that data for the thing. It's just like, oh hey, there's 1 bar in each of these. Is that how many snacks are left? Or did one of them get eaten and the Pokemon ran? Maybe I've already forgotten what the game told me to do. Yeah, so I guess you really don't have a whole lot of time to respond to those with only 1 Pokesnack out. Well, that's okay. I can probably make things work with just the Shadow Pokemon inventory. Probably. Thankfully, they'll probably just let me go in and out of this building. Fairly freely. Which will be great right until I get to the healing machine. Assuming there's that many more fights that I have to worry about between here and there. What's your numbers looking like here at Delcatty? Well, she got attract back. How often I'm going to be able to use that seems to be a little bit up to chance. But for now, let's put our fire and our water type up front. I'm sure this is probably a decent combination. We can probably get away with it. Oh, bad news, buddy. You got snuck up on while you were Busy doing whatever that was. Okay, we've got... staying in with Houndour against this Tentacle seems like a bad idea. On the other hand, we can probably just hammer it and we might be able to kill it before it becomes too much of an issue. Although, yeah, we are looking at a Pokemon that's usually pretty sturdy. Oh, boo. Yeah, that's what usually happens whenever Supersonic becomes involved. I guess we'll switch Flaffy in. And just go ahead and Aurora Beam Doduo. 7 damage. I mean... to be fair, that's kind of decent considering that that's an 80 power move. At that point. And sure, it's resisted, but I don't know. I usually think of Houndour as being kind of a bit more of a glass cannon. Three coin flips lost in a row. That's... well, that's honestly just kind of the norm when... that's the kind of luck I get with Confusion. Uh-huh. Clicked out a window. Whoops. Four in a row. Really? Well, that I was gonna say it makes up for the possibility that I might not get to do anything that turn because of potential flinch. Okay, good. After that long... 4 turns feels like a long time for Confusion, although I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, that's much more of the kind of damage that we want to see. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, they did actually just punch the kid a bunch. These guys actually aren't above resorting to violence against children. Kind of a shock for this series, actually. Yeah, I think especially with my splitting my focus here, this is going to take a couple of turns. But hey, burning spinner rack is kind of nice. If it uses, I was going to say if it uses attacks, it's probably using physical attacks, so that's got two benefits now. Oh yeah, and string shot hits both Pokemon, which I only learned very recently. In fact, I think I only learned that in like Gen 9 or something. Because otherwise it doesn't come up very much. Well, it dealt like a couple of damage, so that's something, I guess. Dustox. Oh, that's a flat 20 damage. Somebody's dying for this. Yep. Ripsville. It's okay. The healing machine is not too far from here, so that should be fine. Meanwhile, Spinnerack dies with its burn. And what's this? Our fourth fire type of the game? This really is like inverse Sinnoh. Because, wow. And there goes Houndour. That's quite unfortunate. Thundershock's probably a bad choice there for a variety of reasons. That damage with Shadow Wave is pretty serious. Unfortunately, we couldn't stop that Dustox from getting another turn. But we might be able to stop this Vulpix from doing as much damage to us. To a couple of our guys, anyway. And yeah, let's waste a turn with Heal Bell. Because I'm sure that if I apply too much more damage after that, yeah, that would be bad. That would be a problem. Plus, I don't think I've ever seen this animation before, so... Oh, it's quite long, actually. Well, that was kind of a lot of damage we took there, so... Instead of using the healing machine here, I'm just going to go back to Agate Village, and I'm going to use that one. Just in case this one is guarded in some further way. It's a pity they couldn't leave the healing machine in the lobby. Which is where I think it was in Colosseum. Oh. Alright. Saying to go to the cave spot. Let's see if we can do that and... I guess at least see something real quick. We may not necessarily be able to catch it, but... we can try. Oh, it's a whooper. I mean, I probably don't need a whooper, but I still like that Pokemon, so... Unfortunately, this is probably way too much. Oh, jeez, almost. No need for that. Hooray! We caught a wild Pokemon. For the first time in this game. 7 hours in. Which is mostly just kind of funny to say it. It obviously is not a gripe. It's a mechanic that I know. Oh, relax, game. Maybe I'll be able to get there after I heal, but I kind of doubt it. Excuse me. Which in this case, it would basically have to be the Oasis spot. Yeah, it's gone already. I figured. Oh well. Now, hold on. Is there anywhere else I can go into here and go fight anyone else before we move on to the next floor? Well, I can come in here and get the items now. So that's good, possibly. Oh, this person's a bit of a creep. Yeah, autograph, sure. Quillfish and a Rhyhorn. I did see that there were more Shadow Pokemon here, but I don't think either of these are going to be it. And once again, Houndour makes for a bad matchup into two of these Pokemon. But I'm going to try to stay in for at least a turn here. Meanwhile, this Rhyhorn should probably get just erased by this water gun. Chincho. Yeah, we've got another water type here. That's lovely. Yeah, sure. Body slamming into this hardening Quillfish is probably not useful, but its HP should probably be low enough for us to get a kill. Yeah, that's looking like it's a freebie. And see, this is why I didn't want to stay in for very long against these water types. We're definitely going to switch out in a second here. Coughing. Gotta be careful about how I do this switch because yeah, I think we're just gonna do things this way. Yeah, I definitely did not want to put Baltoy in the position that Spheal is in. Or, pardon me, this position that Houndour was in. I mean, probably not the other position, but if I had put it into the same place as Houndour, it probably would have just taken a water gun. Or at least I would have good reason to believe that that would be what would happen. Ah, dang it. Actually, Chincho is the fastest out of this group, which is kind of sad, so we'll target the coughing first. Unfortunately, we didn't kill off the coughing super fast, so there wasn't more damage to redistribute to the Chincho, but oh well. Ah, yeah, here comes this. Great. So now we get to have both of our Pokemon not do anything ever due to bad RNG. Fun. I think that's technically the correct term in this case. Yeah, see, what did I say? It's either this or I switch out, and I kind of refuse. There we go. Thank you, Flaffy. Now, if you could just actually get the kill this time. What was that under? I think it was under my tripod. Hmm. Well, I'm glad that guy sucked to fight the most out of, like, everybody so far here. That was rough. Sure, let's have both of our fire types up front. This is a good idea. But I'm doing this just in case I get ambushed on the way of the healing machine. Which I'm sure is what will happen. Oh, no. Somehow I had a clean path to it. That's a shock. That almost never happens. So let's pick some stuff up here and deal with this fellow. Yeah, see, this might actually work. I think. It's got potential. I'd be worried about that, but it is just Love Disc, so... suddenly I'm kind of not. Oh my god. How did I end up over there? Hold up. Well... that must have just been a weird... weird input on my part. Love Disc is not anything to worry about at the moment, at least. Especially if it's going to sit there and just use agility for a moment. It's not like that makes it hurt anymore, so... big meh to that. Oh, for some reason I thought that hit both Pokemon. And under most circumstances it appears it does not. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about this thing still. It's worth a good yield of experience, though. Credit there. Okay, yeah, Love Disc is admittedly taking a decent chunk of damage. Is that just because Flareon isn't really doing a whole lot with that bite? Feint Attack should probably hit harder. Not by enough, but hey. Excuse me. Apologize. I don't know if we heard that, but I sure hope not. That's all I can say there. Alright, now let's clean this up. Excellent. Now we heal. And let's see how much more we got to do around here. Ultimately, shouldn't be too much more. No, it's clobbering time, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Oh, you got Furret and Zigzagoon. Hey, wow, one of those was a shadow in the previous game. So it's probably not going to be here. I think the only shadow Pokemon that's shared between the two games is Makuhita. For some reason. Ah, good. We're doing this, are we? Excellent. plan of action here. Switch you out for... No, I think you're going to stay in, actually. And we'll just try and tackle that Zigzagoon. At first, it's doing a good chunk of damage to us, actually, from those quick attacks. It feels like the most damage I've seen Furt do, basically. Togetic. That is a part flying type, so switching Houndour out for Baltoy would probably be a good idea here. We could certainly, in that case, use Rock Tomb on it. Oh, gross. And what do you mean the Zigzagoon is only like 1 HP? Are you... Game is really trying to make me unhappy, and I think it might actually work. Well... There's our bad EXP, badly split. Meanwhile, Delivered is something we can just potentially one-shot with Rock Tomb, but I think I'm going to have to try to use Ember on it in order to see if I get a chance of doing damage. Or we could just not, apparently. Well, we killed it, but at what cost? I haven't attacked through confusion once today. Fuck off, man. You're kidding me, game. What a load of garbage. This is why eventually they nerfed confusion. It's because it's awful and it sucks, and I mean, the RNG is usually about as bad no matter what, so... Just die already. An incredibly annoying Pokemon. Well. There we go. At least we beat that battle. And there's an item in here that I'm going to take. Get that HP up. Yay. Thought they were filming some special effects scenes. I mean, they do kind of look like they belong in some sort of tokusatsu show, but except that they're bad guys instead. That guy has no idea what's going on. That's incredible. Be creamed, huh? Cream of the crop! Wait, no, that's something different. Leading off with 2 fire weak Pokemon. That's helpful. They're both fast and both kind of glassy. I did not know that Sneasel could learn either of the screens. I wouldn't really have guessed. It doesn't seem like it's supposed to be built to be a support Pokemon, you know? Ah, yes, and this Yanma has speed boost. As I suppose is ultimately to be expected a little bit. Well, hey, as long as it continues to not use light screen. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yay, we got quick attack for Flareon, which would help in a fight like this. Although not so much when this is what we have to see on the other side of the fight is a ghost. Oh, hey, look, another ghost. Ooh, this one is a shadow. That might actually be a pretty good Pokemon to use, then. I think, at least on paper, I like that. Dusclops is pretty nice, usually. Much more defensively oriented, but still. That's rather unfortunate. It's okay. Flareon can come out and continue to help out here. At least for a little bit. Very helpful. I'm gonna try doing this. That's probably completely safe, but I'm nervous anyway. Yeah, see, I could probably have used, I could probably have used a Thunder Shock there, and it would have been fine as well. You know, both of them. But now is where we've got to just start throwing balls, basically. Pretty easy capture, all considered. Alright, now I know I've learned from last time there's possibly something big coming up to deal with here. Alright, let's give this guy a swirly. Come on. What do you got for me, game? What are we dealing with? Oh, a Kadabra. That's actually potentially a bit rough. I think putting Flareon specifically on duty to deal with that is a good idea. Meanwhile, we'll start burning down the Flaffy with Ember. Using things that are non-contact moves to try to avoid getting paralyzed. The amount of Pokemon these guys have at this point in the game really does help reinforce to me how few Pokemon a lot of random trainers have in more recent generations. They are just bereft compared to these dudes. Alright, we'll go for the feint attacks on Flaffy. Well, we somehow didn't get paralyzed, but we also didn't get the kill, so... Okay, good. At least it was only 2 hits, because otherwise that could be an issue. All right, we got Shadow Ralts to pick up here. Let's do things this way. Well, that was quite painful. Oh, right, because it was Uproar. And Houndour, you're just gonna die. Well. Alright, fine. Delcatty, you can be useful to help chip this thing a bit, I guess. Shockwave, that's an interesting move for this thing to have. Oh, it has that synchronize ability. Don't like that. Well, that's okay. I can fix that issue. Oh, that was pretty good, but it was a crit, so... it should be fine to do that again. I'm feeling like we can catch this for free at this point, basically. Hooray! We got another Shadow Pokemon. Yay! Yay! I need to heal first for that. I'm also going to be right back, everybody. Just a minute or so. Okay, I'm back. Let's get back to it here. Healed, we're healed. There, that should do for us for now. I thought that guy had something else to say, but nope. I mean, obviously, so... What's even the point? How are they able to do that? Well, that's fine. This guy's cornered. Oh yeah, that just really looks like a jumble of random letters if you're... You know, if you don't squint at that. I don't remember where Loudred's stats are aimed. Oh, that's a fast boy. And dealt a lot of fucking damage. Ooh, wow. I guess encountering a giraffe rig only 6 hours into the game, it is pretty strong. This guy's got quite a lead here. Let's try to do this. Oh, god damn it. Something is using headbutt. I wasn't even looking at the attacks. Because it's just like, oh wait, no, he uses stomp. That's right. Both of his... I wouldn't really have figured that Loudred would get Stomp. I mean, sure, it could, but relative to any other Pokemon, it's just kind of there. And it didn't fucking die. Oh my god. This fight is like quite a step up for being almost no levels up from where I was before. Eesh. And Mawile is a shadow Pokemon. I don't know if I can necessarily deal with this super easily, because I guess it depends very heavily on how the rest of this fight goes, really. Send out Houndour and I'll chunk it pretty heavily with Ember. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a kill on it, but we're going to try. And we still didn't kill the fucking giraffe rig yet. This thing has been the absolute bane of my... You son of a bitch. I hate this fucking thing so much. This garbage Pokemon. Fine, Delcatty, I guess you can come along too. That is a lot of damage for Mawile, even with being weak to the shadow damage. That seems like some bullshit. And the... fuck you, man. This is insane. I'm gonna lose to this. because this guy's Giraffarig is overpowered. Giraffarig! Overpowered. That's a concept that makes zero sense. There is no circumstance under which that should be true. That thing is a piece of shit. Oh, and now he's got a Raichu. Well, I guess at least... Oh, never mind. I was going to say at least I have a Pokemon that can... No, this Mawile that's doing way more damage than it has any reason to. And of course, because Delcatty is not good, it's going to die hilariously to everything here. Can't even outspeed the... Well, that's normal. Its speed stat is not high enough to outspeed Raichu at that. So, meh. And we're dead. I mean, we're paralyzed too, so like, hey. This is our first actual game over of this, our first time actually losing a fight. Although saying that, I don't know if there's an actual game over. Or if you just black out and the normal things happen from blackout. Yeah, his Mawile fled somewhere, so Mirror B has it now. Well, that's cool, so... Disappearance of the SS Libra. Planning a major attack on Fenac City. Of course they are. Oh no, we're gonna be late for that anyway, so... Yeah, it's kind of a no chance thing anyway. Well, time for us to go and gain some levels, I guess, because clearly we're behind. What happened with our Pokemon's health here? Okay, we did get reset, so... That's neat, at least. Yeah, what's the deal? You got anything to... Yeah, there definitely sounds like there's some shit going on. Oh, is that one guy from the previous game who just does that? Hmm. Ah, right. Yeah, I forgot about a lot of that. Oh, they just buried it? That's a choice. I mean, I guess that's one way to stop any of that bullshit from happening again, but hey. Well, he's still out there somewhere if you are able to find him. Okay. Let's see how tough this is. Hopefully it's not the levels from the previous game. If we can access it this early, yeesh. Oh, hey, here's the Coliseum version of this battle music, which I consider to be the better version. Okay, they're only level 20. That's perfectly fine. I should be able to take this on. Oh, hell. Well, we got away with that. That's... And another Pichu. Well, okay. One of these days, I will not be confused, but at least this time we are... Well, we got through the confusion once, which by my standards, pretty good. And yeah, this is an era before they fixed that misspelling that... just kind of happens once in a while. And Baltoy got killed by something. Is the other Pokemon over there? Can't look now. Oh, it was Teddy Ursa. Now that makes complete sense then. Because that thing can hit pretty hard. Well, at least this is a source of experience that is probably a little bit better than the guys in the square. All right, let's see if we can take out Chikorita before we end up running into an issue that would potentially kill Baltoy. But we get healed between each fight, so that's probably a little less of a problem than it looks, but that's still not great to just keep sacrificing our Pokemon over and over. Come on, we got to be able to have at least some strategy here, right? Oh, now I'm getting a good look at it. No, I've seen the Sailor model before, but I just immediately was struck by how much this guy looked incredibly like Popeye. Like even by the standards of being a sailor, this guy is quite the goofus. With those proportions, if you can even call them that. And personally, I feel like the use of that term in this case might be a bit of a stretch. Ah, smokescreen. What a great move, and not at all irritating. This team is pretty good. It would be great if the audience members weren't cheering over it at the beginning or any other part of this. Oh, you're using double team. That's very irritating, especially because I'm already using a move that doesn't have great accuracy. But I guess we can just use Feint Attack in that case. And Baltoy, you can be switched out for Flareon because I don't have to worry about Water-type moves, probably. Or Ground-type moves, for that matter. Yeah, let's just bypass this Garbage Bird's accuracy cheat. Well, thankfully we still got time to finish things off there. Excellent. And lastly, Duskull. Well, depending on when Yawn procs. Poison Fang, huh? Interesting. Come on, poison me. Do it, you Damn. I was hoping to strategically get slept so that way I could wake up, basically. We'll switch Baltoy back in, and we will take out this Puccino with Quick Attack, just to make absolutely sure that we outspeed. I'm pretty sure we do naturally anyway, but just to be absolutely safe. No speed ties for us. Oh, God. Really? He called that one, huh? That's irritating. That's slightly bothersome, you might say. But that's okay. This guy's toast now. Like, almost for sure. Yep. Told you. Baltoy to level 24. Excellent. If that were Ralts, it could have evolved by now, but we did just get Ralts anyway, so meh. Now, lastly, here we are. It's time for the final round. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Snubble and Plusle to start with. Okay. Unfortunately, Plusle hasn't really got a weakness that we can... Well, it does, but our ground type options at this point are Mud Slap and literally nothing else. Alright, so we just continue to make a concerted effort here, and things might work out. Never mind. Wow, you took a lot of damage there, Houndour. Jeez. Eesh. Let's send Flaffy out. I was gonna say, come on, use Memento or something. Excellent. It's just a shame that Houndour couldn't get any of this experience because, well, because it is a complete and utter glass jaw. Like I said, Flareon was a huge mistake because it, you know, corporate needs you to find the difference between these two pictures. That wasn't so bad. What do we get for a reward for that? Do we get any reward other than just the experience? Oh yeah, we get some prize money. That's helpful. And TM31, which I don't recall what the TMs in this game are. Oh, that's Brick Break. That's real good, actually. Oh, neat. Can I finally be free of Delcatty? This burden that has been placed onto me by myself, really. Right, we go back to the lab again. We go talk to the guy at the purification chamber, or whoever's here. Yep. Oh. Oh, cool. And what moves do you get for this? You get False Swipe, which you'd think that it wouldn't get until it evolves, and Refresh. Because of course it gets Refresh. I kind of want to go into here and be like, okay, what proportion of our Pokemon have gotten Refresh or, like, Heal Bell or something like that? Let's go in here and yeah, just put these back into the PC. You know what? I am actually going to take a look here. Ladybug has Refresh. Poochyena has Heal Bell. Here's all the Shadow Pokemon we still haven't revived yet. Swooper is an exception. Shroomish has Refresh. Teddiursa has Refresh. Carvana has Refresh. Houndour does not have either. Houndour has Charm as status ability. Baltoy has Refresh. Flareon I don't think had that to start with. Yeah, it was Growl that I took off for Quick Attack. Steel also has Charm instead of a status purging move, and Flaffy has Heal Bell. Well, here, I'm gonna get Delcatty to be able to be purified. I guess I could put it out in the lead of my party with somebody here. This guy? Yeah, let's take on Dirt here. Well, hello, Irene. Things have probably happened. We've made at least a little bit of progress anyway, but the levels are starting to catch up to us a little bit here, so... we need to raise up our Pokemon some, and I think going into the Coliseum is going to be the best way to get that EXP, but... for now, I just want to get this thing ready to be purified, because then I can take it out of my party and not think about it anymore. Because Delcatty is not very good. Oh, ew. Wow, I could have probably just Shadow Rush there. I wasn't sure if I was going to get the kill with that Ember, but I have that much of a level advantage. I should probably be a little bit more certain of such things. Yeah, here we are. How far off is Houndour from evolving? Level 24. So we are pretty close there, at least. Oh yeah, that guy should have another berry for us because a day has passed. Oh. Well, yeah, Delcatty being able to be purified seems a little bit more important to me, but... hey, for now... oh, that guy didn't give us a good berry. Dang. Let's go deal with this part of things first. Oop. Excuse me. And secret power. And sweet kiss. Now, remembering that Delcatty doesn't really get moves because it's a stone evolution, you're pretty much stuck with just that for the rest of the game. From what I remember, anyway. All right. It's back to gaining levels for us in the Pyrite Coliseum. What are these guys doing here? That just made me think of Butthead. The way that he talked for a second there. It's now this looks like Digimon. Maybe a little bit. I suppose you're not completely wrong. It's still every... Well, listen, the Pokemon franchise doesn't really have much of a reputation for originality, so the answer is probably yes. But, oh hey, it's this guy. Yeah. Here he is. Unfortunately, this time he is not loaded down with pineapple ducks. Maybe that's for later, because technically we're in a lower level than we would be in that position. This guy is incredible. I've seen only 2 multi-hit moves today, and both of them have been exactly 2 hits landed. So, I guess at least the computer is having some bad RNG too, which makes me sort of happy. Oh, Voltorb. Hey, we already got your Voltorb, dude. You just ran out of ideas for your party, didn't you? Oh, he's got at least 1 pineapple duck. Yeah. There's Ludicolo. Hell yeah. Although, for our side of things, that's not really great, is it? Because that thing is a little rough. Whatever, it does more damage than Voltorb, so I'm going to ignore the Voltorb for now. Ouch! Man, make me look like a fool. I don't need the help. Leech Seed. Gross. Oh, wrong target. This should be fine. Although I will still want to switch out very soon if I don't die. Ah, right, that move is contingent entirely on the target. Okay. So we switch in so we can paralyze and somewhat damage the Mawile. I just hope Teddiursa... No, Teddiursa got double targeted. Well, shit. As you say, I hope we can just live through this, and the answer to that is no, obviously. Ah, yes, Sonic Boom. At a point when this still is, like, really gross damage. That nice flat 20 HP worth of damage. Good stuff. And by that, I mean ew. Ow. And another fucking crit. Eesh. Well, Houndour is no longer leech seeded, which is the big problem that I was having. That was my big concern, so this should fix things a little bit here. Alright, let's shoot some fire at this thing. Ow, that was kind of a lot of damage from Shockwave, but not the worst I've ever dealt with. Yeah, see, the Mawile is down to half HP. That's great. Although, also, that thing is doing so much more damage than I've ever been able to do with Mawile. It's kind of gross. Hey, fuck you. And it was almost like, hey, that's pretty good. And then, nope. Well, Sfeel, you can come in and you can basically acquire the experience here. for now. We're going to throw the Great Ball at Mawile just to make absolutely sure we can catch it because its HP is really high. And I don't want to fuck around with this shit anymore. But yay, we beat him. That was quite rough because there was a lot of stuff to deal with there. Thank you, Disco Man. You've given me a nice chunk of experience. And I caught that shadow Pokemon I missed earlier because I had a bad time. Unfortunately, no 2-for-1 for us, but still pretty alright, all considered. I mean, unfortunately, our attack is halved for Teddiursa now, so that's... That doesn't make me all that happy, but hey. Sweet kiss. I did not look at what the attack name was. I just saw the animation. I was like, is that a tract? Please don't be a tract. But no, it's honestly something about as bad. Teddiursa being that severely held back in terms of stat, I need to switch out. Because I need those attack points back. Real bad. If I want to stand even a chance of being able to do anything with Teddiursa, who knows only one technique for battling. And of course, nothing in this fight is worth like almost any experience, which is awful. Even worse is, hey, cool, double confusion. Okay. Switch Ted back in here. Nope. Wow, you actually have a stream streak this time. Now imagine if you actually logged in every time. It's me just being rude to you. But hey, thank you for 3 consecutive... You log in, but you don't visit. I mean, wait. The conditions for the streak notification, they're really, really slow. I'll tell you that much. Because every time that I've gotten that on another stream, it's been like, oh, well, several minutes after leaving the first message. Because I guess they have to absolutely be sure that you're truly watching or something. I don't know. Yes, apparently. Listen, they're trying to get you to be in here for longer so that way they can show you more advertisements for, like, Palantir and stuff. The fuck do they show ads for on Twitch anymore? I saw an ad like a week ago for, I don't remember if it was Kalshi specifically, but it was one of those gambling platforms. The other ad that I can say that I get all the time is for 2XKO, the fighting game by Riot Games using some of their League of Legends characters. And let me tell you something, I usually cannot be asked to mute any of the advertisements. You know, just because I'm worried that it'll have an effect for any of the streams that I watch and them not getting their, like, quarter of a cent for 5-minute ad break or whatever. I mute whenever those come up. Because I think those offend me more than the fucking ice ads. Not literally, but it is just kind of like, it does make me kind of want to barf a little bit. Not necessarily the ad itself so much, but very specifically the existence of that, right? The fact that we've allowed Riot Games to turn this into, you know, turn bad Dota into a franchise like that. And not just because of it being bad Dota or anything, it's because I'm staring very pointedly at Riot Games as an entity. Oh yeah, there's that Roblox link up there. I'm not sure, but I did see a post recently about, like, how much of that is, like, how big of a thing that is. And I just think about how much the game industry is just powered by child abuse and nobody fucking cares. Granted, I've also had kind of this feeling for a very long time that quite literally nobody cares about anything child abuse related at all. You know, they don't take that shit seriously. So, oh, I bet you're gonna fake out Houndoom so I can't do any good damage this turn. Yeah, you bastard. So, I think I've told the story before that I heard something about back during the Olympics in 2024. There were a couple of Americans who were hanging out at this, you know, watching the event, and there were other Canadians there or they were in Canada or something. But when America beat out Canada for a medal at one point, like, this wave of dudes breaks out into singing Not Like Us. And dude, that song is about one thing in particular. It's about how one very specific man is a very probable pedophile. And that really did start me off on this, like, really big tear about just how little people in general care about this stuff. I knew it before, but there's something kind of visceral about that, right? That just kind of makes it feel significantly worse. Here's a song on the radio, they're not. I mean, yeah, I guess there is kind of that obviously nobody is actually paying attention to any of it, but it's just like, it's a certain level of gut-wrenching, you know? I mean, look at the fact that we don't have fucking loot box regulations. In fact, we're out here just, like, looking over at Bobby Kotick and almost rewarding him. You think anything real is gonna come out of that fucking Jeffrey Epstein shit? Absolutely not. And if it does, I'll eat my hat. And of course, obviously, it's going to require a massive purge of the government in the first place to actually get any of that to change, but one thing at a time. Or less. Oh, hey, we got a different TM. 12 is taunt. Well, I feel like I'm getting taunted by being gifted that. Anyway, yeah, that's just... I see it all the time, and it's like... It hurts me in a certain way. Obviously, there's also the part where, yes, child abuse is also... You know, the rough equivalent of the same kind of shit that they do to people who have mental health problems and, you know, in particular, autistic, ADHD. Yeah. You get what I'm getting at, too, is that it's literally not just about children if anybody wants to be like, but you hate kids. And that's not really a real reason for someone to think that that's bad. So don't be that person or I will, I don't know, be upset. Anyway, enough of that horse shit. Let's save our game and just think about this for a second. I think we can probably keep taking on more of these. I assume they just specifically get harder as you go. Well, thankfully the Rhyhorn is just very easy for Teddy Ursa to, or for Sfeel to one-shot. There's that. Thankfully, these fights are still easy, but they at least give me a little bit of experience. A reasonable amount. You've got just normal types, don't you? Oh, that's a little boring. Smeargle probably needs to go down quickish because it could have basically anything. Which is a bit of a problem. Oh, you're... Yeah, that'll be dealing some pretty hard damage. This is even before Thrash got buffed. Well, thank goodness we took that out in one shot. Meanwhile, Skitty could probably also die in one hit for all I know. Kinda hoping. All right, what else are we seeing here? Oh, yeah, sure, dude. Well, for a start, you are using a Spoink, so I think that's a weak point in and of itself, but... Oh, switching in Spinda. Okay. That's a choice. This thing has problems. I'm not sure exactly which problems, but at least a few. I'm not sure how those pupils work. Oh, disgusting, Psywave. Imagine using Psywave unironically. Yeah, see, it did less than it would have done if you had Seismic Toss, which I guess that Pokemon can't have. Ah, good. Everybody became confused except for... Oh. Spoink is immune to confusion as well. Shit. Good. I'm so happy about this. Let's just mash and see if we get somewhere with this. Ow. And that time, that Psywave did actually do approximately user's level. Not necessarily exactly, but still. Oh, that's one of those Pokemon dead, so that's great. Yay, level 24 for Teddy Ursa. It doesn't evolve for a while, by the way, so that's not even my current target goal or anything. Or for Baltoy, which evolves at level 36 or something. Oh, you fucker. Is this what you do? Is you just make your goddamn garbage RNG shit going on here? Well, you know what? Houndoom, get in there. Because you're at least dark type, so you can do some pretty good damage. Fuck's sakes, man. My confusion luck today has been absolute garbage. It's okay. Thankfully, Houndoom still hits like a truck, so we're good. At least it does for this part of the game. I love watching these dudes just flop backwards like that. It's pretty fun. Here's this Goofus. He's got some sort of like knuckle tattoos going on there, but I can't see it any more detail than that. Hitmontop and Stantler. Ooh, yikes. That is stepping things up quite a bit, actually. Shit. That could be problematic. Oh, God, yeah. And starting off with 2 Intimidates. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But we're going to Aurora Beam into Stantler, and we're going to switch Teddy Ursa out for Baltoy. Slight problem that like half my party is weak to fighting. And meanwhile, I have just out and out no idea what Stantler has, because that's a Pokemon that is shockingly flexible in terms of its variety of options. Don't have targeted, you piece of shit. You of course you did that. I didn't know Stantler could even learn Roar, so that'll go a ways to tell you what I was just saying before. This thing could probably do literally anything. And it'd just be like, well, it does that. Okay. Astonish, though, I knew it had, because it's partially based on like a deer scarer thing, but also it's a deer itself for some reason. Yeah, Stantler is kind of in that area where things like Girafarig and that exist. And of course, Girafarig has an evolution now, like it, Farigiraf exists. Unfortunately, while Farigiraf is actually kind of alright and has some things it can do, I don't think Weirdeer does anything at like any sort of competitive level. It's just there. It's just a rather strange Pokemon on some level. I mean, it's definitely no Ursaluna all around, that's for sure, but Ursaring was already so strong that it definitely did not need an evolution. It was like final stage ready already. So I think Ursaluna gets almost no extra stat points. They're just distributed better. And then, of course, there's that Blood Moon Ursaluna, which is just straight up a different Pokemon, basically. It's a little less prize money this time, but alright. TM41 is Torment, I think? Yeah. So that's not very useful for us. I don't think anything we have can learn Bullet Seed, can it? Yeah, not in our party. And what was our status with Brook Break? Oh, we can teach it to Flaffy, or we can teach it to Teddy Ursa. I think for now we're just going to stick with what we've got for that. Use the heal machine, even though I don't think that does anything right now, because we're probably at full. And I'm cutting it off a little bit early here tonight by like 10 minutes or so, but yeah, I think this is where we're going to call it. Counterbalance is having a longer stream yesterday, because I think I was just caught up in something that took a little longer yesterday. I don't remember now.